Greetings and welcome to another edition of Johnstone Supply's Dr. Tom's Tech Tips. In this installment we are going to be looking at a common problem that comes up in the cooling season. Brazing. When making connections to evaporator coils, condensing units, TXVs, etc., common industry practice is to braze our connections here with a 15% or higher silver content solder. Works great, makes a very strong joint, no flux contamination with our oil. It's awesome. The age-old problem occurs is by the time we get this pipe hot enough to properly flow our solder material, we end up cooking the guts of this valve out. Our O-rings overheat, our valve leaks, we got a huge problem. Always in the past we've just used a damp cloth or a wet rag, wrap it around this valve here, hope for the best. Hopefully we get on there, get it brazed up and get off before we end up scorching this valve to death. In recent years, several products have come on the market, such as the thermal trap spray. Great product. You're able to spray this on the pipe, on the valve, TXV, etc. And this will keep the valve from getting too hot. Acts as a heat block. Works very well. The only drawback to that is it's a little messy sometimes, and you got to get it sprayed all the way around the pipe. Sometimes you get it sprayed on yourself, on the joint. Our friends over here at the Viper Products have come up with a product called the Viper Super Wet Rag. It's kind of an interesting product here. Looks like thumb gum, however it is a heat block paste. It's more of a putty format, kind of a semi-solid here, very damp. Form that around the pipe and you're able to block the heat from transferring into your valve or your TXV or any area where you don't want it. Best part about this stuff is it's reusable. Once you're done making your braze joint, let the pipe cool down, pull this stuff back off, plop it in the can, screw the lid back on it to keep it sealed, and you're ready to go for the next job. A tub of this could last you most of the summer. Very excellent product. Going to show you a little demonstration on it here. Okay, so here we have a little brazing demonstration mocked up here. We're going to be brazing in a 5/8 of an inch coupling here. We're going to be flowing some nitrogen through the pipe to displace the oxygen, to keep any oxidation out of the inside of our pipe there. We've got our refrigeration technologies, Viper Wet Rag Putty, on both sides of our joint here. It works best if you have a section of this about 2 inches long, wraps all the way around the pipe. Doesn't have to be real thick, but just give it about a nice little 2-inch long heat sink. If you don't have quite that much room, do what you can, but that should give you a nice heat barrier there to keep any valves or anything else you have from overheating. Now the other part about this that's slick is all your heat stays right at that joint. So a lot of times you can heat that pipe up, heat that connection up faster, do your braze job a little quicker, and get off that pipe again because all your heat is staying concentrated right at the joint. Makes life a lot easier. Okay, so we'll go ahead and braze this together here. And you will see just a slight bit of steam coming off this stuff as it heats up, because there is a little moisture content that will evaporate out of the product. But as you can see, my joint is hot and brazing already. I'm on and off my pipe just like that, and I can still grab hold of the pipe and touch it. Normally on a brazed joint like this you'd be taking the skin off your fingers if you grabbed the pipe that quick. All my heat stayed right here, prevented any damage from any of my outside components, and I was able to get that joint brazed a lot faster. Just a few seconds of putting some reusable wet rag putty on there, and we're good to go. Okay, we've got our braze joint complete here, as you can see. I just pull my putty off of here. Looks just like it did when it went on. Pull that off, form it back together like so. I can put it right back inside the container here. Ready to go for next time. Reuses over and over again. If it does start to dry out a little bit, you can always add a little moisture to it. Bam-o. You're set to go. So once again, when it comes time to get those braze joints done, you're in a hurry trying to get your install finished up and get on to the next job, remember, Viper Wet Rag Reusable Heat Blocking Putty. It's a huge time saver, fairly inexpensive, got plenty of it in stock. Stop by and check it out at your local Johnstone Supply.